All right, we're back. We're calling this the best backyard sports jargon ever segment. Episode 2. This is our Detroit Lions draft special. And we're going to talk about how Quinn's going to fuck up our number 3 pick.
Dude, when you were saying that, I felt like you almost paused because you almost
you forgot.
Yeah,
it doesn't quite roll off the tongue yet.
That's kind of the point, though, right?
Yeah, it's kind of what we were going for. A little obnoxious.
BBYSJE.
Done. It's gonna catch on. It's gonna catch on.
I'm not gonna lie, I practiced saying BBYSJE before.
That might actually be easier.
Yeah.
Or not. I don't know.
Probably what I'll go with, but yeah, man, NFL draft preview. So, I mean,
we're 24 hours? Less or a little over 24, right? It starts at 8 tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So first off, does anybody know what this is actually going to look like? Like this virtual draft? Like, what are we going to be watching?
From my understanding, NFL Network and ESPN teamed up, and so there's going to be one hub center where I'm guessing they're announcing the pick from there, and then they'll have what they do when players are at their homes. They'll have cameras that go to the home. ESPN's already, I guess, sent out iPhones for them to be on camera. I watched an interview with Justin. Is it Herbert or Abear? How the hell do you pronounce his name?
Herbert, yeah.
Herbert.
Oh, yeah.
I watched an interview with him. That's what he said they did, and they told them all not wear suits. They actually told them not to wear suits.
Do they get hats? Is there a guy with 32 hats out there? Do we watch Roger Goodell on a stage with nobody in front of him?
Yeah, that's what I'm confused. I know they called it a virtual
in an office.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Just the procedure too. I mean, I saw something that said the procedure, the dry runs of putting picks and stuff in, went well, but I don't know.
I heard too that if something happens, they will extend time.
Well, yeah, you have to.
But that's weird though. Because the phones are still going to work. Even if, the video cuts out, they can pick up the phone and be like, yo, this is our pick.
Yeah. Your internet has to go out, and then, your phone, you have to lose your phone, and then you have to lose your second phone.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting for sure.
It's different, yeah.
I love the draft. Obviously, don't follow it as closely as I used to. I mean, we used to go all out, man. We used to keep a notebook of all the picks and all that stuff. But because as a Lions fan, it's really
it's our Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's our Super Bowl because it's the only time we're in the spotlight, really, because we usually always have a top 5 or at least top 10 typically. But and this year's no different. We're sitting 3, so.
So let's say, ideally, what would you guys want this draft to look like for us? Sitting at number 3.
Joey, you go first. You're the expert.
You don't sit at number 3. You have to trade that pick, yeah. And that's the ideal situation. Trade the pick to, whoever wants it, Miami, the Chargers, whoever wants to come up and get a quarterback. Or it sounds like Miami wants to come up and get a tackle, so that's fine.
Yeah, I heard that too, actually.
Yeah.
But who the hell knows what to believe right now?
Yeah, I feel like it's rumor season, right? Everybody's just throwing out smoke screens.
It's all straight. The only certainty is Joe Burrow, number 1.
Well, I think Chase, yeah.
That is the only certainty. Even Miami with their 3 number 1s, I heard Mike Brown, Bengals owner, won't do it. He just won't do it. No matter what they offer, he's not budging.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. He shouldn't, yeah. But, it feels certain that Chase Young is going number 2, but who knows? I would love – that would be ideal, I guess.
My ideal situation would be somebody trades up into Washington's spot at 2 to take a QB, which my assumption would probably be it'd be Abear or Herbert or probably not Tua. And then Chase Young falls to us.
Yeah.
If that's highly unlikely. So, yeah, trading back and then picking up Simmons at 5 or 6 and picking up extra picks. That would be ideal. If we stay at 3 and we take Okudah, I will flip out. And not because Okudah's a bad player. I don't think he is. But we made our team no better than last year because we traded Slay. So you're basically saying that Okudah would come in and he would have to be like exponentially better than Slay right away, which is not going to happen.
They're trying to do the addition by subtraction thing, right? You got rid of Slay, but you got Okudah, so therefore you're better. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
we were getting rid of Slay. Quinn got a terrible deal for him. Terrible deal. A third and a fifth for an elite corner is awful. But I agree with getting rid of him, but I don't agree with drafting a replacement that makes us no better than we were last year.
Yeah, that's just the thing. Is I don't think Slay's an elite corner, and I mean I told you guys my reasons for that just based off of last year alone. Like I'm not saying he sucks, but I don't think he's like tops. He's not a shutdown by any means. Like
he's the highest paid corner in the league now. I don't agree with that.
But he faced like Keenan Allen last year completely torched him, and then he hurt his hamstring when KC came into town and didn't play. Like he knew that he was due for a new contract coming up, and he didn't want to get exposed. So when he faced anybody worth like any talent at all, he's banged up and doesn't play. Like so that automatically, I didn't like that. And I mean, I like Slay. Like I like Slay a lot for like when he played for us and everything. But I think that he was the kind of a flash in the pan, which a lot of corners are, dude. Very rarely do you get a legit corner that's shut down for a very long time.
Yeah.
Like,
why you number 3 overall?
Yeah, which is exactly why you don't take a corner this high because at best he shuts down one player. He takes one player out of the equation, like if a wide out, like, and that's best case scenario. Like you look at getting an elite pass rusher or somebody like Simmons that can play multiple positions on defense, like that's what's going to make it a bigger impact on your team and make you better. Like taking one player off the offense is not going to do that.
So like if you take a corner at 3, he has to be the best corner in the game, right? Or if you take, it's just like when they took Hawkinson last year, he better be the best tight end in the game, right? And
he was outproduced by his teammate who was taken at 26, I think. Font.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's just what I want.
But I would be even angrier if they stayed at 3 and took Derek Brown, which is the lineman from Auburn. And that's like a big thing. People say that the Lions love him, and they're terrible at defensive tackles, so I could see it happening.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of the early mocks had us taking him. Like when mocks first started pumping out, like 90% of them I saw was us on Derek Brown.
That'd be even worse. That'd be the worst case.
I think it was us getting fleeced because Quinn is not good at his job, and I could see him like – I don't know. I could see a situation where he takes a really shit deal where he'll trade that 3rd pick just to get extra picks, but that extra pick will be like a 2nd rounder and we'll drop all the way back into the 20s. So not only are we now not picking up an elite player, but we're basically flipping the coin to 2nd round. That's my worry is that he's going to do something stupid like that.
I mean, speaking of that, I just saw this thing, this rumor or whatever. The Dolphins want to get rid, or they want to come up to 3, but they don't want to give up 5. So then we'd get like their 8. I think it's 18 overall, and then they have one in the 20s, and then probably the 2nd round pick. So that's exactly what you're saying, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be a terrible deal for us because you're not getting an impact player. Well, I mean, you might, but like you don't know.
You're throwing a dart at a dartboard. You have no idea.
That's just the thing. It's like look at the Lions draft history. Like we only hit on the can't like mess ups, like the ones that can't misplay. Like we got so Galladay is like the only guy that we've hit on that I can remember in recent memory that wasn't like a no-brainer pick. Like all these 1st round picks, these top picks that we've had that haven't panned out. Like Megatron was you can't mess that up.
Well,
like
they would have messed that up. We would have took Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah.
If we had the number 1 pick, we're taking Jamarcus Russell, not Kelvin. Like,
and that's just the thing. Like, but he fell to us, so like we couldn't mess that up. Like,
I feel like that's how this draft is going to go, though. Is the only way that Quinn gets it right is if Chase Young is there at 3. The only way we get it right. Other than that, I think I have full confidence to watch it.
Lions drafting is like it's like a game of like Wheel of Fortune, where like every little triangle is like a way for them to screw up, and then like one triangle on the board is something they can do right.
Yeah, it's the thinnest one.
Yeah.
Jackpot sliver.
Yeah. Like that's the options we live with.
As the needle.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty.
I mean, I don't think this is in any way possible, and it's definitely from. I mean, if you look 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, do you see any scenario where we take a QB? Do you think any scenario where we take Tua, or even if it's even if we trade back?
I don't think there's any scenario we do. I'm not saying we shouldn't. Like if it was me, and you know, see the thing with Tua, I like Tua. I know you guys don't like Tua, but if you could tell me Tua is healthy, then I would definitely take him at 3. I think he's a game changer. I think he's going to be a stud if he's healthy. But I'm not a doctor. Like there's no way for me to know that.
Yeah, his injury was pretty serious, wasn't it? Like, isn't his like his hip injury isn't like what like ended Bo Jackson's career or something like that?
Yeah, but I mean, Bo Jackson was so long ago, and modern medicine so much far is advancing.
My worry is with Tua is the other injuries that he suffered in college. Like
but the ankles, he had ankle injuries too. But I guess the way that he had his ankles fixed actually makes them stronger. So people think that his ankles are going to be okay, but the hip is a concern, right? And you don't know.
Yeah, the hip, man, that's a tough spot to have a serious injury, man. That's a very dynamic joint. It's not like a knee. A knee is just a hinge joint. Like we don't do it a whole ton. Dude, the hip is a ball and socket. That thing's completely different. That's an extremely dynamic joint. And like
Definitely.
I mean, I think he can recover from it. I don't know, man. Like he played at Alabama with the elite of the elite. I don't know.
Yeah, but remember, he came in that national championship game. They were down at halftime. He came in and took over the game and won it for him. I mean, you come into the biggest spot as a freshman, a true freshman, come into the biggest spot and totally change the dynamic of the game. Yeah, he has what it takes.
I get it. I mean, I don't know though. There's
just
something
injury, yeah.
Well, I mean, look at Alabama's dominated for how long, dude? And like, how come the big quarterback hasn't come out of there yet? Like,
they never had anyone. They never had anyone as good as him, though.
I mean, but
that is true. He is the best.
Like, I mean, even still, I mean, just facing the cream of the crop, winning title after title, you think that one of these quarterbacks would get a look at somewhere, especially some of these QB classes that we've had in the recent past. Like, there hasn't been like stacked quarterback classes. Like, I don't know. It's just, I'm iffy on the whole thing. So it's like
I'd rather have Tua at 3 than Okuda. At least take a stab at the future. I can tell you that.
I mean, I would agree with that too. Yeah. Like, I do not want a corner that high. Like, that's just asking for trouble. I mean, what's the highest corner that's come out in the last 10 years? Like Patrick Peterson? Like,
I think it was Ramsey. Wasn't he really high?
I want to say 5 or 6.
What about Denzel?
Ward was high too.
And he's
Ward was 5. I think Ward was 5. No, Ward might have been 4.
They had those 2 super high picks. They went they went back to back with like those super high picks. They took Baker.
Yeah, at 1.
Right? And then they took Ward. I want to say it was like 7 or something, or like 5 or 6 or something like that. But I mean, that's still not 3. Like, yeah. I can't remember.
Ramsey was 5. So
Jalen Ramsey was 5.
Ward was 4.
He was 4.
Ward was 4.
Yeah, so there you go. Like, and what, like Ramsey had those, awesome 2-3 years in Jacksonville where he was like elite of the elite, and then he got traded to the Rams, and like, I mean, I didn't really hear anything much from him when he got traded. Like,
yeah,
like you want to spend a 3rd overall pick on a guy who's going to take a couple years probably to develop, and then you get 2-3 years shutdown years out of him. Right. Like, what do you do? It's a waste. Or you can get a cornerstone of your team.
Well, it's not like our offensive line is lighting the world on fire. I'd rather us take an O-lineman. An O-lineman has a much better success rate coming that high where you can play 10, 12 years, solidifying one side of your line at least.
Plus, they got rid of 2 guys, right? They got rid of Wagner and they got rid of Glasgow. So they need that.
Yeah. So I mean, I'd rather have an lineman at that spot if we're gonna stay there.
So I got a question for Chris.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna put you right on the spot. A lot of people probably don't know this, but Chris has never, and I mean never, missed on an NFL draft prospect, right? And then when he says they're good, they're gonna be great, and when he says they suck, they're gonna suck.
It's true. Hey, just a quick credibility check. I called Vincent Jackson being a stud, and he was drafted in like the 4th or 5th round. Called Cam Chancellor being a stud. He was a 5th round pick. Like, I mean,
He's never missed, guys.
Just a couple of examples. Okay.
All right. So the people want to know, right? Who's your guy? Who's either good or bad? Who's the can't miss guy?
Yeah.
Who this year?
Yeah.
Simmons.
Good or bad, either way.
I love Simmons. I love Isaiah Simmons. I was calling him back before the national championship even hit, and then watched the national championship and just saw firsthand, like, that was the first game I actually sat down and watched it, extended tape on him and actually watched a live game, and like just proved me more right even more. Like, that dude is extremely dynamic. It's insane. Like, I've never seen a dude line up at linebacker and then on the next play line up at a corner. Like, It's insane. Like, he's huge and he's fast. He's just an athletic freak. And he's got swagger too. Like, I texted you guys that quote. Like, that's freaking sweet.
Yeah.
Says that each team gets 53 players on the roster, but if you draft me, you get 56. Like, that's just a badass mentality that I want. Like, that's a leader mentality on the defense right
Some
now.
people say, like, you don't take a linebacker that high at 3, and I'm like, I disagree. He's a linebacker, but he can also rush if you want to throw him on the edge. He can rush from the outside. You want to drop him back into safety, he can play safety. He could probably cover your slot guy. Like, that's that, especially Mr. Matt Patricia, who's supposedly this defensive guru. You would think he would know how to use him to, like, get the most out of him.
See, I like Simmons a lot, but I feel like a bad organization could easily ruin him. Because, like, in the NFL, you can't be, like, pretty good at everything. You have to be great at, like, 1 or 2 things or more, right? And for him, like, I feel like the Lions would just throw him out on the field and say, go do everything. And he'll be, like, pretty good at everything, but, like, not ever great at anything.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd put him in the spot where he would excel. I feel like we would put him in places where he's just going to be decent, and we're not going to – like, you put him in Pittsburgh, and he's going to the Pro Bowl every year.
Exactly. Yeah. Or Seattle or New England or whatever, yeah.
I mean, if you want to go by that standard, then the Lions shouldn't take anybody because we're just a black hole for wasting talent.
I'm not saying just the Lions. Like, I think Jacksonville could ruin him, or like him, like a place where he's going. Like, it has to be a good place for him to learn. And
yeah, I mean, ideally, I'm with you because, like, I like him so much. Like, I want to see him succeed.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want anyone to ruin him. Yeah,
I would love to see him go to San Diego or LA Chargers at 6.
Yeah.
Like, if you went there with Derwin James, dude, Bosa, like, that defense would be unstoppable. And, like, watching that defense go up against KC twice a year would be a freaking treat. Like,
I feel like I think the Chargers are taking a QB no matter what at their pick. Yeah. Simmons, who's going to take – I could see a team making a move up for Simmons, like a KC or somebody, because with Gronk back now – Simmons' value goes way up, man, because Simmons can guard those hard tight ends.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, like I said about Simmons, is, like, I think he's, like, an evolutionary type player. Like, you look at what tight ends were, like, 20 years ago compared to what tight ends are now. Like, it's a completely different position. It's a completely different player. Like, tight ends were basically an extension of the offensive line who you could dump a pass off to. Now look how dynamic tight ends are. Like, I feel like Simmons is basically going to kind of do that with, like, the linebacking position. He's going to create, like, this new position. It's like a linebacker safety hybrid type of thing because it's needed now more than ever with just, like, look at the Travis Kelce's, the Kittles, the Gronks. Like, these tight ends are getting so big and athletic now. Like, safeties and corners are too small to match up against them. Linebackers are too slow to match up against them. Like, he's like this new breed that is going to come along that needs to just completely – is just going to be like an evolutionary type player. And, like, that's why I like him so much. I think he's badass.
Yeah. So, Will, who's yours?
Jeez, that's tough.
I know.
That's Man.
You know, I'll give you because William's the worst. Like when you put William on the spot, he takes about 6 minutes of silence. So you go ahead and think about that.
I do know. I mean, it's too obvious, so I kind of I'll you make your point, and I'll think of somebody else. But I think Joe Burrow's a can't miss. I think Burrow's an absolute stud. Like
That's a good one. Yeah. That's a
zero
good one.
question, Joe Burrow flops on, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, the only thing you be careful, Joe Burrow, is look where he's going. Like that's like almost gonna be like a Matt Stafford like.
I get it, but I feel like he's the type of dude that rolls in and like he just changes culture.
Like Cowherd, like Colin Cowherd, he's not that high on Burrow. He thinks Tua is better than Burrow. Like
A lot of people do.
yeah, he's not super high on Burrow, but I was just gonna flip flop while we waited for William, but because you said can't miss on who's gonna be good or who's gonna suck.
Yeah.
So we'll go on the flip side of the coin. I think Jalen Hurts is gonna suck. I don't like him at all.
No, there's no argument for me. Yeah.
Like I know, like
He's not a good quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, like just the thought, like, because I know he's like one of the top QB prospects coming out this year. There's like Burrow, Hurts, Herbert. I don't know. Dude from Utah,
Tua and Jordan Love. Yeah.
Jordan Love, yeah.
The dude from Washington. God, what the hell's his name?
Eason.
Yeah,
Jacob Eason.
names in the later round. His name's come up. I've heard.
Yeah.
My can't miss, and I was calling this years ago, is Swift from Georgia. Right.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
He's my can't miss. I think that dude's gonna be a stud.
He should be the first running back taken.
You think he should be taking over Taylor?
I do. And the only reason is because Taylor, Wisconsin running backs, I just can't. Wisconsin running backs, man, the NFL, they just never live up to the hype.
The other thing is Taylor was like run into the ground at Wisconsin. He had like 30 carries a game, like every game. Like he's already like beat up just because they gave him so many carries.
Dude, that dude, like
I love him though. Yeah.
Like when I'm not, so this is just to prove a point. Like I'm not saying that Jonathan Taylor's like AP level, but when and I feel like this is with running backs more than almost any other position. Like when you watch college games, like you can just tell by like the body of work like a player has, like just looking, like the way they look on the field and how they play, like just looks different. Like AP, like when you watch tape on AP in college, like he just looks different on the field than everybody else. Like, and I like Jonathan Taylor was the first running back I've seen that I kind of had that same sort of feeling, like just his body, like he almost looks like a man among boys on the field, almost like just looks different, just bringing something different to the table. So I like Jonathan Taylor a lot. And then he came out and ran his 40 like way faster than anybody was expecting him to. And like I knew that was going to shoot his stock up.
Yeah. Who's yours, Joey?
Well, I mean, the easy answer is Chase Young. Like Chase Young is going to be awesome. And I think even if Chase Young sucks, he'll still be really, really good. Like, and then if he reaches his potential or goes beyond it, like you're talking about like one of the premier best pass rushers in the game.
I love Chase Young, and I agree with you on that. But there's people saying he's better than the Bosa's, and I don't see that.
See, I could see him being better than that.
I cannot do. Nick Bosa is a stud. If you give me any defensive lineman in the game right now, I might actually. I can't say I'd take Nick Bosa over Aaron Donald because I love Aaron Donald, but Bosa's right there. Like, dude, he is a free. It's hard for me to envision Chase Young coming in and being as dominant as Bosa.
Yeah, I think though all three of those guys, I think will be on the same level. Like, I can't say he's going to be better, but he's right there.
Yeah,
but that's too easy. Chase Young's too easy. I feel like he's everyone's can't miss. The other dude I'd say is Jerry Jeudy, the wide receiver from Alabama. He can run every route. He's the best route runner in the game. He can catch anything. He's fast. He can do all that. So
like a mini Julio, in my opinion.
Yeah, see, now Alabama wideouts have a better track record than Alabama quarterbacks. Like, I'm with you on that one. But, yeah, I mean, speaking of the running backs, though, that's my dream situation. Like, have Lions trade back like 3 spots. We take Simmons, pick up, maybe either a late first rounder or another second rounder, and we take one of those running backs with our second pick because I wrote Carry-On off. Like Carry-On got hurt his rookie year when he wasn't carrying the freaking load, and got hurt again last year. Like who was he splitting? I was trying to think of this earlier too. Who the hell was he splitting carries with last year? Like his rookie year, not last year, his rookie year. Who was he splitting?
Leonard, not Leonard. The dude from New England, Blount.
LeGarrette Blount.
Garrett.
So he wasn't even the bell cow his rookie year, and he still got hurt. And he came into the league, mind you, too. Like that was his knock coming into the league was he had injury problems.
Yeah.
So not even the bell cow back his rookie year still gets hurt.
You have to address the running back, especially this year, because running back's pretty deep. You got the dude from LSU who's pretty fucking studly.
Clyde.
Got Taylor. I mean, those three guys right there.
And Dobbins too. Right?
I really like Dobbins. I like Dobbins a lot.
Oh, I forgot about Dobbins. Yeah.
I mean, not as much as Taylor or Swift, but like right after that, I like Dobbins.
So Joey, who do you think out of the top, 4 or 5 running back prospects, how many you think going in the first round?
None.
You don't think any one of them are going in the first round?
I don't think there's a first round running back, no.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Even better then. So yeah, we can easily pick one up with a set.
And like maybe one. Maybe one.
Yeah.
I could see somebody in the late first.
Yeah, like Kansas City, like the last pick.
Yeah.
They could certainly use a running back.
What about Tampa Bay?
Yeah. They need one too, yeah.
They pretty much have everything.
They should get Clyde Edwards-Helaire, or the LSU running back. That would be perfect for Brady.
Yeah, so that's my dream situation. Like, freaking take Simmons with the first pick, and then pick up one of those running backs with our second pick, and then try to fill out the O line or something, D line with everything else. But even though I like Scarborough, I thought Scarborough came in and played pretty well considering what the hell.
I mean, he's a decent backup, but he's not a guy that's going to help you carry a load. He's not going to move the needle in the running game. He's not Derrick Henry. Like, he's a big boy who can.
Nobody is Derrick Henry except Derrick Henry. He's a freak in nature, dude.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Like,
he's a goal line back. He's
another running back.
Like I said, it was for what he was. I mean, for where we got him and everything like that. I thought he played pretty well.
We also have to address wide receiver.
Yeah, Marvin Jones is a free agent after this year, and Kenny's he's on his last year of his contract too, right?
He's going to need a big deal.
Yeah.
But you give Kenny his deal.
You should.
Kenny's going to be cream of the crop. Like, he's already knocking on the door.
I mean, he's young, but like, I don't like giving big money to wide receivers. Man.
Hey, William, you upgraded again.
Yeah.
I didn't
get the message?
No.
Oh, I got it.
Really?
Good timer there, pal.
Got 5 minutes.
Well, we got unlimited minutes now.
Is that what it said?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right, we're going to wrap it up then.
But you might have to pay to get it off, though. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's oh yeah, Kenny and everything. Yeah, I mean, I love Galladay.
But this draft is super deep at wide receiver.
Yeah, they say it's like the deepest draft ever for wide receivers.
I mean, so we can easily third rounder. I mean, if we trade back, that's why I would like to see us trade back and pick up that extra first rounder or extra second rounder, because that's where you can land another quality starter.
Yeah. I mean, there's like 3, 4, maybe 5 receivers going in the first round, which is crazy.
It's going to be interesting.
But I don't know.
I'm going to take another freaking tight end.
Yeah, is Hawkinson even alive anymore? Like, didn't his foot fell off, right?
Yeah, he's still trying to put his foot on straight.
So say we do trade back. Say Miami moves up to 3. They give us their 5th and like their latest first. Are you happy with Okudah at 5, or do you still want somebody else at 5 at that point?
No, I don't want a corner that high at all. Like,
I wouldn't actually mind it. Okudah at 5, I wouldn't mind.
I would.
Who else would you take?
Because it does. I would take
Oh,
Simmons.
Simmons. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I would take Simmons, or I mean, I would still take that the offensive lineman before Okuda.
Here's
Like
my fear.
because
Do that. I think at 5 or 6, if it's Chargers or whatever, I think Brown would be the pick.
It could be.
I think Brown would be the pick over all those guys. I really do, just because of how like our D line is shallow, man.
The D line is terrible. Yeah.
well, and I mean, as bad as it sounds, I mean, I don't know much about Derek Brown, so like I don't know. I have zero feelings on him whatsoever. I don't even know what he looks like. So like I don't even. Is he a D tackle or a D end?
Think of a slower, weaker Aaron Donald.
Yeah. He had one of the worst combines like ever.
Well,
He's
yeah,
a defensive tackle.
already not the greatest, but I okay, so I might not like Derek Brown, but I like addressing the D line before addressing corner because, like I said, even if it's picking a 3 or picking a 5, it doesn't change the fact that the best corner in the league is only going to take one player out of the equation. You have a D line that makes the whole your entire defense better. You're like
not at 5 or 6, not in the top 10, but I've heard that dude from Iowa's name a lot. Espinenza, is that his name? The
Yeah.
DN.
Yeah.
I keep hearing his name with us because of how well he would fit our defense.
Yeah, later.
yeah, that's I mean that's what I'm saying. So I mean a good D line makes your entire defense better, whereas a great corner takes one player out. Like I mean, we saw last year we got freaking torched, dude. Like couldn't stop the run, 0 pass rush. We had Slay, supposedly this awesome corner, and we still got torched. Like it doesn't matter.
The thing about Slay last year, like there was, like you said, there was 0 pass rush. He had to guard people for like 15 seconds. Like, nobody can do that. It doesn't matter what corner you are. Yeah.
Powers was a good acquisition, but he can't do it by himself.
Which
He had Snacks too, who sucked last year.
We take Okuda, then
same scenario. You're right.
Yeah, it's the same scenario. It doesn't change anything. Like the best corner can't cover somebody for 10 seconds. Like it's not going to happen. So like that's why pick 3 or pick 5, splitting hairs in my opinion. Like I don't touch a corner in the top 10 because just return on investment is not there.
I do think Okuda will be good though. Like I think Okuda, like if you were to put Okuda and Derek Brown next to each other and who's going to have a better career, I would say Okuda. That's why I'd be better with him at 5.
I've seen tape on Okuda, and I thought like he's a baller. Like he makes plays. Like I liked what I saw, but hey, if we were picking 15, 16, then like I'm cool with it. But not that high, not a corner that high. It's like why I don't agree taking a freaking tight end that high.
Exactly. Yeah.
You seem to do it all the freaking time. Passing on all that talent for freaking Ebron and then passing on all that talent for freaking Hawkinson.
God, don't even remind me that we could have Aaron Donald right now. Instead, we had Eric Ebron.
Or Odell. Don't forget about Odell.
Yeah, we could have a lot instead.
You could have Odell and Calvin and Golden Tate.
You know what bothers me the most too is that they came out after that Ebron draft and they said that Ebron was our guy. We only had one player ranked ahead of him, and it was Khalil Mack. So if we had the second overall pick at 1, we were still taking freaking Ebron. Like that right there sums up the Lions draft process.
And that was the old regime. That's not even this one who's even worse.
It never changes though. Like it doesn't even. It's just the carousel. It's the carousel in front, and like we're always like legit. The goal of this show should be the 3 of us to be hired as the Lions.
That's a lofty goal.
I think it was a group text, or maybe it might have been a different YouTube video I did for my own thing at one point. But like, I'm serious. Like when Quinn gets fired and Patricia gets canned after this year, because we know that they're gonna flop because Patricia sucks. He's terrible. And like, how could we possibly do any worse than Matt Cullen and Quinn?
You
Can't.
Like, so like at least. Like, if Martha Ford came out and hired us as, like, GMs, dude, at least the fan base would be like, yo, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, just publicity alone, they would probably make a ton of money, right?
Yeah.
Like give the Lions to the people. Like,
yeah, right.
Like, all decisions will be, like, a big majority vote. Like, give it to them because, like, the people you're bringing in it's not working. Like, let's straight Invincible, like that Mark Wahlberg movie about homeboy from Philly. Like, let's just hold open interviews. Like,
why
the
not?
three of us will do it for half the money.
That's right. Yeah.
I would do it for free. First of all, I'll do it for free.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, I will sign better free agents, and I will draft better. Like,
You can't do worse. You can't do worse. No.
You can. I mean, it's
My fear with the whole thing is like, because Stafford's going to come back, the team's not going to be as bad. Like, they're not going to win. They're going to win more than 3 games, right? They're going to win. Like, Stafford alone, like we said, I think I said this before. Stafford alone wins you 6-7 games. Like, even if the team around him is dog shit.
he'll
right?
bail you out of a lot.
Yeah. So, like, I'm scared because let's say they win 7-8 games. Like, is that enough to bring these guys back? And then we just have to deal with it again next year, and you just keep kicking the can down the road.
According to them, it was playoffs or bust. That's what Martha Ford said.
No, it was contention for playoffs, right? You have to just be in contention.
No, Caldwell had us in the playoffs. Why'd you get rid of him if that's all you wanted?
I don't know.
That's why I mean is bullshit. Patricia.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, how do you go from going
9-7? We were 9-7.
Yeah, and then
last year.
Didn't we have a 10-win season in there too?
Yeah, we made the playoffs his last year.
Yeah, and like, so how do you go from that, fire him, go to 3
6-10, 6-10, and then 3 and
6-10, and then 3-13. And I said it from the get-go, dude. I said that they were going to use Stafford as a scapegoat. They freaking. Yeah. I honestly don't think he was that. Like, I think he was hurt, but I don't think he was any more hurt than he's ever been before.
He could have come back
because they knew they were going to bomb, and if they took him out, then they could use that as an excuse for their terrible record and buy themselves another year.
Well, like Patricia's defense, that defense was one of the worst defenses we have ever had as an organization.
It was historically bad.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of the worst ever.
That right there tells you he has his guys in there now. Like, what does that tell you about him? He can't coach. He thinks he's Bill Belichick, and he's not.
Yeah, not to mention all the stories of these players coming out and just
one story, you can kind of dismiss it. Okay, that guy's just kind of pissed. Dude, it's been like 4 or 5 different guys coming out and saying he's late to meeting. He came in bossing people around like he was some Mr. Big Shot. Dude, you are a 350-pound fat pile of shit. That's what you are, who ride Bill Belichick coattails. Look at your last performance in the Super Bowl. You got smoked.
Yeah. Was anyone in the Patriots sad that they lost Matt Patricia?
Right.
Nobody. They were like, all right, man.
Well, like,
go for it.
That's
the thing in 4 years when you need to be rehired because you're going to get canned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that bothers me too about the Lions. Like, when we hired Caldwell, like, I didn't like that hiring either. But like, I miss him compared to having Patricia.
Absolutely.
But like, when we hired Caldwell, we brought him in. He was the offensive coordinator for Baltimore. Baltimore, the year after we hired him, had like the 28th best offense. And we hired their offensive coordinator. Same thing with Patricia. New England's defense on paper was like 28th in the league or 27th in the league. They're like bottom 5 in the league of giving up the most yards and all this stuff. Like, what? And that's the defensive coordinator we hire. Like, shouldn't you be going after like a top 5 coordinator? Like, why are we looking at the bottoms of the league to hire our head coach?
Same reason Quinn only trades with New England. Like, that's all he knows.
Yeah, I mean, you signed him as the coach when you hired Bob Quinn, right? Bob Quinn was always going to get Matt Patricia. Like, it was always leading to that.
It's awful. I hate it. I can't stand it.
The Patriot way thing is that nothing more pisses me off than that.
Right there, which is why we would be better at our jobs. And I don't understand how these guys in the front offices of these like billion-dollar franchises that they're in charge of look at these New England. Look at the track record of New England coaches, man. Josh McDaniels bombs.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Charlie Weiss, Matt Patricia's bombing. Flores, maybe Vrabel.
Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien's a psycho. Yeah.
Dude, look at the bombs.
Was Vrabel even ever – he wasn't even really – like, I know he was a player for a long time. How long did he coach with New England?
I want to say he only had a year or 2 under his belt there.
Yeah,
was it longer than that? Might have been longer than that.
And even I make that an exception to the rule because he was a player first. Like,
yeah,
all these other dudes weren't just like freaking armchair jockeys.
Well, I also like last year let's see what they are this year. Like, jury's out still.
On the
Yeah.
Titans, yeah.
But
I guess this is what happens when you have like a 98-year-old woman running your franchise, right? Like, I know she's not making the day-to-day decisions, but she's still in charge of it. Like, it's always been the Ford family, so it's always
ultimately that's what I mean. At this point, like this is what I've said. Like, I think honestly, like our luck will never change until we have new ownership, because like it's been our entire life. It's been our dad who's watched the Lions for 50 years. Like, it's always the same thing. All the different coaches, all the high draft pick, like nothing changes. The only constant has been ownership.
The only thing I will say to that, and I don't disagree, but the one thing that the Fords have shown, well, they've shown a couple things. One, that they don't really care about winning, but two, they are extremely patient with who they put in charge. So, dude, like, it's not like they're Jerry Jones and they put a guy in there for a year and they micromanage. They don't micromanage. They put you in there, and, like, look at Millen, how much time he had. Patricia and Quinn are getting another year. Like, dude, I just think they're very bad at who they hire.
It's another reason we should get the job, because it'd be the easiest job ever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we could get fired. We would have a job for forever.
Seriously, I mean,
We can go in there and easily miss the playoffs.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do it damn good.
Yeah, I mean,
We can win 8 games.
draft guys that are projected in the 6th round. We can take them.
yeah, we can look at a projected 4th round pick linebacker from Hawaii and take him high in the 2nd. Like, that's not difficult. Like, oh, I just like this guy. I think he's gonna fit really well here. So we'll just reach for him, not by 1 round, but by 2 rounds. Like,
Just in case, you know.
Yeah, what the heck, dude? Like, projected 4th. Okay, if you really want your guy, let's take him in the 3rd. No, we're gonna take him in the 2nd. Like,
Don't be stupid. We're going to the 2nd.
Then we did the same thing in the next round. We took a projected 5th rounder, took him in the 3rd. I forget, it was
Tracy Walker, right? The safety.
Yeah, which I actually like what I've seen out of him.
Dude, this is what's going to
doesn't change the fact you could have got him later.
I forgot about this. Did you guys see there was a rumor circulating because Belichick doesn't pay top dollar for his players, and Gilmore, who's Defensive Player of the Year, is going to be up for a big contract, cornerback. Did you
Bring him in?
Rumor floating that we will trade our number 3 pick to New England? We'll get their 1st and Gilmore, and they'll get our 3rd. I saw that rumor.
Wow.
And that, I just believe that because it's a New England tie. And I think that Quinn and Patricia are Belichick plants. Like that's what Belichick does. He sends his coaches out there and they work for him secretly behind the scenes.
Yeah. The more and more this process goes, like, the more I actually believe what you're saying.
I don't know how, like, Greenberg and like Orlovsky, these guys have not, like, started this conspiracy theory, dude. How has it not happened yet? 20 years, dude. 20 years Belichick has dominated. You know how hard that is to do in any modern sport? Dude, he's sending these plants out, and they're secretly phoning him and telling him what they're doing, man.
Yeah, not only that, too, and then just, like, look at the extent of the measures they go to win. Like, all the conspiracies they've already had, and then the fact that, you know, the greatest dynasty in NFL history hasn't pumped out one decent coach besides Belichick. Like, I mean, just mathematically, you think it would happen by now.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? It's like Twilight Zone stuff, dude.
Now watch this year. Watch fucking Stidham come in. Watch New England go 13-3. They go back to the championship. Like, Brady turns in a Jameis Winston type performance, like totally dog shit.
Who is New England's quarterback now? Have they named one yet?
Stidham.
He was a rookie last year.
Oh, I've never even heard of him before.
He went to Auburn, right? He was
Yeah, he was what, their third rounder?
Something like that.
They've already named him starter, huh?
Or the 4th rounder.
Well, I don't know if they named a starter, but he's like the only player they have. They have Hoyer. They signed Brian Hoyer again. I bet they draft somebody. What if they draft Tua? And Tua is just like the greatest player ever because he's in New England.
That's what I'm saying. They trade up, take our 3 pick, and they take Tua. Or they take.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Tua could slide all the way to them.
So,
right?
I could see.
Okay.
I've heard rumors. I watched Pat McAfee show. Shout out to Pat McAfee show. I love that show. I saw on his show when he's shaking your hand, dude, you got to watch it. I'm telling you.
I have seen it, William. You send me clips every single day of the same clip.
It is a good show. I like that show too.
It's awesome. And I just totally got sidetracked. What the hell? I forgot where I was going with that.
It probably wasn't very important anyway.
Something about Tua, I would imagine.
But I was going to say this to start kind of wrapping this thing up.
Oh, hold on. I got it. Yeah. On that show, I saw Tua. I saw that a lot of NFL execs, I saw Tua sliding, having like an Aaron Rodgers, Brady Quinn type slide. They did say that that's becoming more likely. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that happen just because of his injury history. I mean,
yeah. I think yesterday.
What?
I think yesterday I said he wouldn't fall out of the top 10, but like I think he will now. I can see that easily happening now. Yeah.
Just the fact that there is, it is a deep draft. And
exactly.
He has the question marks with injuries, but anyway, I was just saying, start wrapping this thing up. I think we should finish with some predictions. So, ultimately, we've gone through all the scenarios. We've said what we wanted to happen, but realistically, if you were a betting man, if you had to bet, we'll start with Joey. What do you see the top 5 shaking out?
All right. So are we going to say trades or no? Can I
play it out however you think it's going to go down? Play it out however you think it's going to go down.
All right. So Burrow goes first. Chase Young goes second. I think Miami trades with Detroit and they take a lineman. Which one? I don't know. A lineman. Tristan Wirfs, probably. And then the Giants will take the second lineman, and then the Lions will take Okudah at 5.
Man,
you're wrong.
That's my prediction.
All right, what about you?
Fuck. I mean, unfortunately, I think there's 0 trades in the top 10. I think it plays out exactly as it is right now. Burrow, Young. I think at 3 we end up taking Okudah, or an offensive lineman. I don't know how that has not been linked to us, but it hasn't. And then at 4 the Giants take Simmons, and I see the Dolphins landing whatever quarterback they want, either Hebert or Tua at 5, and then Chargers take the scraps of Jordan Love or whoever, like Tua, whatever quarterback's left for them to take. I think they take them there. I don't see the trades happening with the question marks around like Tua, because that top 5 really revolves around Tua.
But it doesn't now because Miami wants a tackle. So
yeah, but they need a QB. Like, you can't argue they have to get a QB at some point.
Yeah, but maybe they think Jordan Love's there at 18, and that's their guy.
Maybe, and I can see that because they do have the ammo to move up even after their 5th pick. I can see that.
Yeah, I could see them. Like if Tua does start slipping, like they could trade up and try to get Tua if he slips like 10 or 11 or something like that. Like, it's not going to cost them a ton to move up, 4 or 5 spots at that point in the first round. They could try to jump up and get Tua. I think depth-wise, they could probably wait on a quarterback, because if they're planning on taking a quarterback, they're definitely going to want to take an offensive lineman to freaking handcuff with him to keep his ass upright. So
I don't think there's going to be any trades, in my opinion. Like, because one, it's us that the trading supposed to start, so naturally, I don't see us doing the smart thing. But I think I could slight chance. I could see a dark horse team that has not been linked to any of these QBs. Like, it's always Miami and the Chargers linked to the QBs, but like either New England. Who are some other, like Chicago, like teams that are still like quarterback hungry? Jacksonville could make a huge move to try to move into our spot. I could see that.
Jacksonville's in the top 10. That could definitely happen. Yeah.
Teams that haven't really been linked, jumping and overpaying.
So I asked for predictions. Elaine just throws out like 5 more things.
Yeah. All right, well, what's yours?
Wrong stance.
What's yours?
I mean, I'll just run through every prospect at every pick here.
I'm just saying.
Huh?
I don't think there's going to be a trade. If my thing, but
I mean,
I see a dark horse team moving up to 3 before the Chargers or Dolphins.
yeah, I mean that's what I mean. I was gonna say, like, I feel like the years where like a lot of guys are predicting a trade to happen, like a lot of times it doesn't happen. Like, so I feel like when like the majority of people think there's gonna be one, I feel like it's always a letdown and like it really doesn't happen. I always feel like the big trades kind of come out of left field. So I could definitely see there not being a trade. Just for the sake of predictions, I guess I'll say that there won't be one just to keep it easy. But yeah, I think Burrow will go 1, Chase Young will go 2. God, the Lions. I mean,
Okuda.
yeah. I mean, it's like I don't want to say it, but I think that's what's gonna happen. Either that or like I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna hold out hope, and I could see. I'm gonna say that we're gonna take an offensive lineman. I think with those like there's those 2 big guys, and we did lose those offensive linemen. I'm gonna say I'll go out on a limb. I'm gonna say that Detroit takes an O lineman, and I think the Giants take the one that we didn't take, and then I think Miami's gonna take. I'll say Miami goes with a quarterback because the linemen are gone. And then my boy Simmons goes to I always call him San Diego. I'll forever call him San Diego.
They're San Diego, yeah.
Go Chargers, go.
Go Chargers, go.
But yeah, my boy Simmons goes to San Diego. Or I just did it again. Goes to the Chargers, and like that's like the team to watch. Like that's the defense to watch because like that would be a sick defense.
The other
Chargers don't have a quarterback though. You're gonna roll with Tyrod Taylor forever?
I saw something that said like they're sold on Tyrod being their guy.
I heard Tyrod.
And like
the other reason I don't think we trade, like, because everything revolves around us at 3 from what you see, where the trading starts supposedly. The other reason is look at Quinn's track record. Like we tried trading Slay at the deadline last year, and they were asking too much. I can see Quinn just wanting like an entire draft for somebody to move in, and like I don't see teams offering. They're going to lowball the hell out of us, and Quinn's probably going to have like a high asking price.
Yeah, and he'll just stay put because he's.
I just don't see. I have zero faith that he's going to get it right.
Do you see the trade that they almost, or that was actually in place for Gronk to come to Detroit?
Yeah.
That was another one. That would have been even worse than anything. We were giving up our first. Yeah, we're giving up our first round pick and our second round pick to get Gronk and a second round pick, I think, or something like that.
And I think it's bullshit, partially, but I heard it had nothing to do with Detroit. That Gronk said he'll never play without Brady.
Hey, he proved that.
Yeah. Dude, it's like when we traded with New England. I remember like my first year doing fantasy football. Like I was young. Like I don't know, I was probably like 15. Like followed football, or whatever. But like talk just because William was there. Like I lived with him. Like we could talk about trade. Like we just pull a trade off just for the sake of pulling a trade off. like he knows I'm good at it and kind of like takes advantage of me, and I kind of get the shitty end of the deal. But like we do it anyway because like we know each other so well. Like I feel like that's like pretty much what the Lions do with New England.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Look at Kyle. Right. Kyle Van Noy, and he went on to be top 5 linebacker in the game. Like we don't know what we're doing.
So did all the linemen we lost, right? Larry Warford we let go. Riley Reef we let go. What's the other guy in San Francisco?
Tomlinson.
Yeah.
Tomlinson.
He won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, who we like. Yeah, he's actually really good now.
Yeah.
Like,
all those guys.
Maybe our scout department's not that terrible. It's just our coaches. We cannot develop anybody.
Nope. All right, so that's our prediction. So we're gonna hop back on here after the Lions destroy this draft for us.
Yeah, I think we should wait till after Friday, so we'll get the first round, and then Friday's what, the second and third round?
Right. Yeah, Friday will be second, third, and then Saturday we'll finish it up 4 through 7.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we can hop on Saturday evening and
Play Monday morning quarterback and just destroy our draft.
yeah,
Terrible
Yeah.
grade.
yeah, sounds like a plan. So,
All right.
all right, sign us out with our super obnoxious name, will you?
Best
What are the initials, Joe?
backyard sports jargon ever. Episode 2.
BBYSJE.
Catch you on, man.
Hey, you got it.
So, all right. Well, I'll talk to you boys after this draft.
Yes, sir.